Hey guys, and welcome back to the bench. So, over the weekend, something came in that I was really excited I wanted to show you guys. So, my skipper had thought to, well, he's been trying to convince me lately to get into wood models. And I said fine, and I told him go ahead and go see if there's something he thought I'd be interested in doing. So, he did. And well, considering I've never done a wood model before, but anyway, he thought, okay, so let's get him something. And what he got me was this beauty, the Mini Mamoli Alexander Newsky? Shouldn't it be Nevsky? It is a 1 to 220 scale, and we even got a little bit of history sitting right here. A Russian ship with 3 decks of first class or first rate ship of the line. The Alexander Nevsky participated in the Battle of Navarino in 1827. For the first time, Russia managed to penetrate the Mediterranean as a naval power. So, it has a length of 315 millimeters and a height of 230 millimeters. The kit is of high quality material, high precise detail, and pre-carved wood hull. So that definitely takes out half the middleman work of if you're doing an actual wood kit, which is where you're literally building up the keel, the ribbing, the hull, pretty much everything. At least here you only have to worry about everything else besides the actual hull. Everything else is pretty much done for you already. So, turn it over onto its side, and as it shows, of course you got the name, Division of Dusek, I don't know, Ship Kit Company. High quality material, so it shows a picture of the already pre-done hull. Highly precise details, so you got what looks like some of your stuff. We'll see later on when we open up the kit. And a little boy happily playing around with a model and the Amerigo's Vespucci sitting on the thing. Okay, so turn it over to the back. You got a picture of the Bounty. Once more, you got the 3 pictures that you had before. Its name. Mamoli puts a range of kits on the market, though in miniature maintain the concept of shipbuilding unchanged. The model construction is made easier by molded hull as well as by schematization of the plans in actual size. 1-on-1, it makes simple reading for beginners in ship modeling and plan work for boys too, in consideration of exclusive use of precision materials such as wood. The built model is so winning as to be on the level with more difficult production, less reduced sales. You got your producer, so they're from the Czech. Okay. So, turn it over to its side. Just your barcode. Production number MM73 Alexander Nevsky, where it's from, their website. Gotta remember that. Want to check them out later. See what else they have. Turn it over again, and pretty much the same as with the front, just the name and where they're located in their website. So it comes with a sleeve to protect it. Let's get the sleeve off real quick. Set it to the side, and let's open her up. So the first thing we get out of the box is our instruction manual. So we'll set that to the side and look at it after. So the first thing we get out is our little wood hull. So as it said before, the hull's pre-carved. Looks like you have a spot here. I'm guessing this is where you put your keel. That have to clean it out. Probably also have to do a little bit of cleaning before you want to actually paint the thing. But all in all, it's not badly detailed. Well, it has a lack of detail, but it's not bad for a pre-car toll. Next out of the box, you get all your stuff. So I'm guessing, so it seems like I'm guessing is the grates, the wheel. I see some twine in here, so that's for your rigging line. You get a whole bunch of pieces of wood. Those are used to make your masts and your yard arms. You get another piece of so I'm guessing that's supposed to be the laser cut area, so it's for your cannons. So you got your carriage and then the two sides. So this is a 220. I might have some spare cannons from another model that I could probably use to replace this. So you have some cast metal lifeboats, some anchors. Something's supposed to be there, but it probably fell out and somewhere else in the thing. And then you have all your, what I'm guessing is your pins, so that you would stick into the hole for the rigging. There's probably some blocks and stuff maybe in there. So next out the box, let's go ahead and just pull this out real quick of its paper. Nicely done, so nothing gets moving around. Okay, like the other stuff, set this aside. Everything's laser cut. So first thing first, I'm guessing this is I want to say this is for the keel, your rudder, and maybe this is for your that's the part that goes around the edge here on the top, so your barrier or your last gun deck. You have your stand and two things for her names for both sides, so Alexander Newsky. Put some paint on that, or some what's it called? Some you know, it's gonna come back to me later. I just know it. So next out, carefully hold it up. We got our fighting tops, since there is no such thing as crow's nests in the Navy. So this is your so this piece here goes here on, effectively is this part here. I forget. I think is that the after castle? What used to be called the after castle? You have your gallery. Then you have the side windows that would go on to the side. And I'm guessing that this one is what goes right there at the front of the model. Right on the front. So this piece here is, I believe, this right here. So that's all nice and good. Set it to the side real quick. Ooh. Okay. Next, we got both our gun deck. So this is for both our gun decks, so it's already pre-cut out. So, do everything you need to do for those. Paint up the hull. And no doubt that'd make it easier, so paint it black, paint these white, and then you have your gun ports and everything pretty much done. I will admit there's kind of a lack of lower gun port cannons, well, which is understandable, but one would think that let's just include the cannon barrel, that just enough of it that it points out to where it looks like it's pointing out of these. So that's probably going to be something I'm going to have to make on my own eventually when I do it. Then you have your last fighting top. I'm guessing these three whole things here are the parts where your mast will go. You'll put your masts and you'll put them down, and then you'll put your masts down. You got your main deck with your gratings. This is the spot where your lifeboats will eventually call home. And to be honest, I could not tell you what the rest of the parts are. They're probably things that set down on the side and the front of the hull. So the barriers maybe. These are probably the stuff that you have to set on the lower hull. When we go through the instructions, it'll probably tell us what those are. So we'll have to wait for that. Next we have some, I'm guessing paper. Is that paper? Maybe. And of course you got your Imperial Russian flag, since of course the Alexander Newsky was a ship in the Imperial Russian Navy. I can honestly say I don't know if this is for a stand or not. I really don't know. So that's everything that's sitting inside the kit. Let's go ahead and close it up real quick. Well, first actually let's get all this stuff re-wrapped up real quick. But it's not a bad little kit to my eyes. Of course, I don't know much about wood kits, so this should be interesting in the sense that perhaps this is something good to be done for a beginner. And well, I'm a beginner, so that's definitely going to be something I'll be experimenting on the side, off camera. So go ahead and close this up real quick, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring out our instruction booklet. So of course the instruction booklet is folded in half. Unfold it. Very nice big thing. You have the instructions. According to this, it's in, seems 4 different languages. So of course you got what was read on the front, the little bit of history, and you have it in the other languages. Then you have here, you got pretty much telling you how to bend wood. So the wooden strips will be more flexible if you boil in hot water for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can bend the strips along any cylindrical area, but ideal is using special plank bender. It would be best to use an electric plank bender. You need to do very small radius, so you must bend it in more steps. One would think you could just probably use the hull if it's specific to certain areas. Probably be easier. For generic gluing of the wooden parts, we advise modelers to use white vinyl glue. For the union of wooden parts with other metal, epoxy glue with 2 components, or CA glue. For this latter type, follow carefully the enclosed instructions and choose the suitable type of metal with metal or metal with wood, etc. Then you get what they're saying is their recommended tools. So emery paper, don't know what that is. Tweezers, a knife for wood, little drill with drill bit around 0.7 to 1.5 millimeters, a hammer, white glue, instant glue, modeling scissors, paper scotch, nailer, closed peg, pin, and plank bender. Going down the thing, and we get our what they recommend as their coloring guide. So first, of course, for the lower hull, you have where they recommend using copper, since this had a copper hull, but I have seen it to where people have done it with a green lower hull, although technically that may not be historically accurate, but to each their own. It's your model, do with it what you will. Then it's recommending black paint, then it's recommending white. So as seen here, you get your black upper body, you got your white stripes, of course you got your gun ports, and then it shows your windows, and then it gets into more specifics for each color. So for the black, it's your gun barrels, your anchors, mast, yards. And it's pretty much telling you the exact same thing in those other languages. Red, so gun carriage. Afusto, okay, so that's just saying the same thing. Then you got brown, boat, rudder, wheel. So that's everything that's going for there. Flip it over, see if there's anything on here. And there is, and we start with stage 1. And stage 1 is you working on your main deck. So step 1, glue beams 2 to the black side of deck 1. So I'm guessing these beams, then you put them underneath, or are they on top? It says backside. Well, that's definitely something to learn later on when starting to learn how to do this. Something I would recommend, each part, label it so it's easier to follow along. That's definitely something I've seen in some videos that I've been watching on people who've done wood models, is number everything. That way it makes it easier. Step 2 is making the stand to hold it. That will be our first step, because it'd be easier to use the stand to hold it up than trying to find something else. Next, we move down, and step 3 is pretty big step. So step 3 is you're putting in your keel, your rudder, no, that's not a bowsprit, that's part of your keel, I think. So, as stated here, step 1 for it, first glue decks 1 and 8 to hull. Second step, then glue parts 7 to deck and keel and rudder to hull. Okay. That sounds easy enough to follow along. Following on to that, it's just showing you pretty much same steps. So part 7, two parts that go over the holes for your 2 masts. And then it's just you putting your decks onto your hole where they need to go. Part 8 ain't actually mentioned in here unless it's in a future step. Or part 8's actually... No, part 8 is mentioned. Okay, 1 and 8. So we're through with the first step. Move on to the second page where it has step 4. So step 4, first glue part 11 through 13 to the deck. After that, glue parts 14 and 15 to the hull. So this is what goes into making the rear platform, so the raising of the platform that you see in many ships of the line. Following on from that, it says 14 and 15, so 14 and 15 following that is your top gun deck, for your top gun deck, and then the barrier which separates the gun deck from where the no, not top sail, your bowsprit? Yeah, okay, bowsprit. I think that's the word I was looking for. So, after doing that, step 5, cut out paper strips 16 through 17 and glue them to the hull. So, the paper strip, which is, I'm guessing, is those very thin, almost wood filling parts, is what we're doing here. This is the part that's probably, is the part that if you want to do it before then, go ahead and paint it white or wait until afterwards. That way you don't have to worry about later on. Since I'm guessing that's the part that makes up your, for your second and third gun decks. Flip it again. So, once more, we get a lot of parts coming together. So, first step, first glue parts 19 and 21 to the hull. So 19 and 21 being the both for the quarter, no, would it be quarter gallery? Yeah, so the windows at the back in the place where the officers by themselves get to hide at. As well, as the saying goes back then, aft the most honor, forward the better men, which means that officers usually stuck to the back while the less fortunate people had to stay to the front and usually live on the gun deck and share their space with a gun. So those two pieces go together, stacked on top of each other once all the other stuff's added on. Next, step 2, after the gluing whales 22 and 23 and part 25 to the hull. So, after glue whales 22, 23, and 25. So that would be 23, 22, and 25 would be the added on detail to the tops and to the sides, which separates the gun decks and the everything. Alright, and then your final step for step 6, finally cut out gun ports 24 from paper and glue them to the hull. Cut out gun ports from paper. You're telling me that little piece of paper that had the flags on it you use on this part? That's definitely something to learn. So, moving on to step 7. The first thing we're doing is we are gluing our guns. So shows you where each of your guns are located, and if you're so inclined, if you want to be that person, you could always cut out some plastic or tiny pieces of wood and put them on top of where these spots here are, and like I said before, figure out how long you need it just to have what looks like little cannons sticking out the sides of the model. Just a little bit of reference for anybody who'd be interested in doing that. So following that is, then you're gluing decks 28 and the side part of 29 into position. So this is the first piece of wood that we took out earlier. So this is what goes on after you build up the area for your raised aft deck. I'll just call it the aft deck. And part 29, so this is the barrier that's separates it off, which then you don't have to really think about your aft gallery touching anything. Then step 30 is you're gluing on the stern gallery. So that'd be your last step in step 7. All right, see what's on the back of this one. Okay, that's where we already were. So, moving on to step 8. And step 8, the first thing it has you do, make the rudder wheel 36 from photo etched parts and 0.5 millimeter wire. Okay, so there's a wire in that thing. So you use the wire and then you build up your wheel from these. I may or may not have a spare wheel I can probably use. I'll have to check through my stuff, but I may have a spare wheel I could probably replace this thing with. But if you do want to use the wheel, more power to you. Okay. So it has you making your wheel. Then glue all parts 31 through 39 into position. So 36, which is your wheel, goes here before your platform. 31 is for your mizzen mast. 32 is the part that connects to the thing that gives you that almost beaked look that most Age of Sail / late Age of Sail steam warships also had. I'm actually surprised it's not saying anything about the step for the stairs, since it's showing the stairs right here. Huh. No, it doesn't mention anything about the stairs. That's definitely something interesting to see here. I guess it's not considered massively important to be mentioned on the instructions. So, following on, we move on to step 9, which glue parts 40 and 41 to position. So your little barricades that go in front of your, so you got 2 in front of your main and top mat, forward mast, main mast, mizzen mast. I think that's what the order they're called. So you have 2 up front, 1 in the rear. Then you have the 2 pieces here, which I believe these are where some of your anchors rest off of. Don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. So that's what I missed. So 38 and stuff is the parts here, which your rat lines and all that go on. That will go up and give you that almost pyramid look to your sails and everything. Of course, also had your boats in the previous step. So I do apologize for missing those. Okay. Flip it over once more. And step 10 is pretty much how everything going into making all your masts, your fighting tops, and your bowsprit. So step 10, as it says here, measure the dimensions of the mast yards as per drawing. Taper 2-yard ends. Taper the mast following the line indicated as per drawing. No wrap around the 3 masts. Braided thread. Check the correct locations as per drawing. Joint the masts and the bowsprit following the diagram. Paint with black color yard. Make cross trees and tops and fix them at the right position. Now insert the 3 masts in their respective holes on the hull by gluing them. Fix the bowsprit to the top of the prow. Tighten the shroud vertically, making step with small thread as per drawing with each hole of the eye bolts, which are fastened to the hull, and fix them at the bottom of the round tops of masts. Stretch the upper steps between the 3 masts, beginning from the bottom of the 6 lower steps. So step 10 is pretty much telling you everything you need to do for all your masts and giving you the instructions of how to do it all. Then you have here, which is pretty much telling you exactly what all you're going to need from here. So the dowel 1 millimeter, which parts those go to, dowel 2 millimeter, same thing, so forth. For that, okay. And then moving on from there, we have step 11, which pretty much is get your rigging diagram. So it's showing you how to rig it all up. Oh, so they use pins to create the for the dead eyes or whatever those parts are that go sitting on these parts to help rise up into the thing. How interesting. And instead of doing anything up here, they have in step 11 it shows where you're pretty much connecting these lines here to the ends and then massing off there. Shows where your bowsprit is fastened in, and I forget what that word is, where you tie the bowsprit down to the beak of the ship. 80 eye bolts, 20 millimeter. Okay, so 20 millimeter eye bolts will be the part that goes there. Understood for that. Good sir. Flip it over again, and once more it tells you everything you need to know for your masts. So of course you got the dotted line, which is the line that's going to be running to these parts from the front of the ship. Doesn't seem like there's any towards the back. And you got all your lines that go all over the place for this. I wonder if they had added the if they went and added paper for the or even some little bit of cloth to make the sails, if it would have raised the price for this kit. But I guess this kit's made so you can look at it without the mast, which works in my opinion, because I could never do the sails, because I can never make them. If I could, I'd be making a whole lot of furled sails for Age of Sail vessels. Okay, once more, put that to the side. And step 13 is your diagram telling you everything you have. So this is what you could use to number every single piece you have. So go ahead and do that before you even start doing the model. Just label everything. And of course, you have this part here, which shows you how to put on your 2 anchors to the ship. So 82, then you got your rope, which I'm guessing is supposed to be 61, and then you tie it off to the part and let it hang on its own. Flip it over, and we reach the end of the instruction manual for the Alexander Newsky. So, final thoughts. I think it's actually going to be a very nice little kit. It's definitely something to experiment with, since I have not built a wood kit before. So the question I'm pretty sure a lot of people are asking is, will it appear on the channel being built? And the answer to that, I am sorry to say, is going to be a no. I do plan eventually on covering a wood ship on the channel. I will not deny that, because that is actually an area which I want to eventually get going into. However, as I haven't done this before, it's definitely something that's going to take some experimenting. So, but I still thought it'd be something nice to see appear on the channel. So, with that, that covers everything on the Mini Mamoli Alexander Newsky. Any last things to talk about? Yes. On December 12th, the poll in the community tab will be going up for the 4 ships that will be as options for the build following USS Texas. It will last through January, I believe, 10th. And then once that is done, when we finish with USS Texas in, I believe, February, we will be moving on to that model. And other than that, that's everything. I hope you all have a nice day. I hope you have a nice week. Take care of yourself. Stay bundled, especially if you're in the States. It's been getting cold. I hope you all have a nice time. And this is Captain Charlemagne, and I am signing off. Adios, everyone.